The Galactic Assessment Bureau prided itself on absolute precision. For 10,000 years, they had catalogued every sentient species, measuring their potential with mathematical certainty. The Strength Index was law, determining everything from trade rights to military restrictions. Director Zal Thys reviewed the latest report with satisfaction. Species 14,792 humans. Physical strength 4.2 out of 50. Negligible. Technological advancement 6.8. Primitive. Psionic potential 0.0. Non-existent. Overall threat assessment minimal. His assistant, a gelatinous Morvac, quivered agreement. Shall we assign them to the labor caste, Director? Their manual dexterity could prove useful in mining operations. Standard protocol. Send the enforcement fleet. The Bureau's methodology was flawless. They measured muscle density against the Thraxian standard beings who could bench press starship hulls. They evaluated technology against the synthetic collective's quantum processors. Psionic abilities were rated against the mind weavers who could reshape reality with thought. By every metric, humans were laughably inferior. Commander Vex arrived at Earth with the standard subjugation fleet, 50 dreadnoughts, more than sufficient for a class, for species. The humans sent a single ambassador to meet him, a middle-aged woman named Dr. Lisa Park, who seemed bizarrely calm given her species' impending servitude. Before we proceed, Dr. Park said, adjusting her glasses, I'm curious about your measurement system. Very thorough. You tracked physical strength, technology, psionics, all the obvious metrics. Vex's mandibles clicked with amusement. The Bureau's system is perfect. It has catalogued every form of power in the galaxy. Every form. Park smiled. Tell me, Commander, what happens when your strongest warrior faces a problem they can't punch? When your most advanced AI encounters something outside its parameters? When your greatest psychic meets a mind that simply doesn't care? Irrelevant hypotheticals, Vex dismissed. Strength is strength. Park nodded to her aide, who began broadcasting something on all frequencies. Within minutes, reports flooded Vex's command center. Commander, 3 of our dreadnoughts are leaving. Leaving? Their crews are laughing? Crying? They're abandoning posts to watch something called cat videos. More reports poured in. Soldiers throughout the fleet were laying down arms, not in surrender but in fascination. Engineers were desperately taking notes on something called duct tape solutions. The ship's AI had discovered human music and was now composing what it called sick beats. What did you do? Vex demanded. We shared, Park said simply. You measured strength, intelligence, psychic power. But you never measured creativity. Adaptability. The ability to find joy in darkness, humor in horror, solutions in chaos. You never measured the power of stories, of art, of sheer bloody-minded refusal to do things the right way. On the view screen, a human broadcast showed someone using advanced alien technology as a coffee maker. Another human had befriended a warrior drone by teaching it card tricks. Somewhere on Dreadnought 7, the entire crew had stopped to help a human engineer turn a weapon system into what she called the galaxy's sickest bass amplifier. Your species are conquerors, Park continued. You measure power to dominate. But humans? We're the species that looked at wolves and thought friend. We saw fire and thought tool. We faced the impossible and asked, but what if we tried it backwards? Vex watched his invasion fleet dissolve into chaos. Not through violence, but through curiosity. His soldiers weren't defeated. They were fascinated. The humans were teaching them games, sharing stories, showing them how to make something called pizza, using standard protein rations and fusion reactor excess heat. The Bureau measured everything, Park said, her voice gentle now. Except the one thing humans have in abundance. The power to make others want to join us. Not through force or fear, but through the simple act of saying, hey, look at this cool thing I figured out. By the time Vex returned to the Bureau, half his fleet had requested cultural exchange permits. The other half were trying to figure out how to integrate human memes into their communication systems. His own tactical officer had abandoned military doctrine entirely after discovering something called speedrunning. Director Zal Thys stared at the report in disbelief. They defeated an enforcement fleet with entertainment? Not defeated, Vex corrected, still processing what he'd witnessed. They made us forget why we came. They measured our strength and responded with something we had no defense against, the desire to see what happens next. The Bureau's records were quietly updated. Species 14,792 humans. New classification, Anomalous. Handle with extreme caution. Primary weapon, making you want to be their friend. In the footnotes, someone had added, they turned our doomsday weapon into a popcorn maker. Recommend immediate alliance before they figure out what else they can do.